Okay, so inequalities are going to be right here. This is a less than symbol. This is a greater than symbol or more than symbol, less than or equal to symbol, greater than or equal to symbol, and then not equal to. So in this exercise, you're going to represent problem situations with algebraic inequalities. You do not need to solve the inequality. We're just going to write them. So example 1. Mr. Garrison and some friends are headed to the Taylor Swift concert. The ticket office sells individual tickets for $89.95 each and offers a group rate of $59.95 each plus a one-time fee of $99.99. Write an inequality that shows when the group rate is the same as or cheaper than the individual rate. Okay, so when we do these like yesterday, we have a group rate and we have an individual rate. So let's write that. Group rate. And we have a individual rate. We want the group rate to be the same as or cheaper. So what symbol is that going to be? Do we want the less than? Do we want the alligator mouth? Which one do we want it to eat? The bigger one, right? Which one is going to be the bigger one? If we want to be cheaper, if the group rate is cheaper, is it smaller or bigger?
Smaller.
Smaller. So our alligator mouth has to go to the individual rate because that's the one that's greater. It always eats the greater one. But we also said is the same as or cheaper. So the same would have a line under it. That means our group rate is either less than or it could be equal to the individual rate. So then all we have to do is write the expression on each side. So we're going to go back to where it talks about the ticket office sells individual tickets for $89.95 each. Then it says, and it offers this group rate of $59.95 plus a one-time fee of $99.99. So what would the group rates expression be? Look at my purple.
59.95x plus 99.99.
Good. So 59.95x plus 99.99. So our individual rate is just $89.95 each. Remember, we're still looking for per, each, every word. So it wants to know, what does that X really represent? Tickets, yeah. Okay, let's look at our example 2. Mr. Jansen and Mr. Tong are grading quizzes. Mr. Jansen has 30 quizzes graded already and grades at a rate of about 1 quiz per minute. Mr. Tong only has 15 quizzes graded but grades at a rate of 2 quizzes per minute. Write an inequality that shows how long Mr. Jansen remains ahead of Mr. Tong. So what are the two people we're comparing?
Mr. Tong.
Good. Mr. Jansen and Mr. Tong. And we want Mr. Jansen to remain ahead. So is Mr. Jansen greater than or less than Mr. Tong? Greater. Is he equal to Mr. Tong? No, he's just greater than him. It doesn't say greater than or equal to. So now we just have to come up with the two expressions. So I'm going to underline Mr. Jansen first. So Mr. Jansen has 30 quizzes graded and already and grades at a rate about 1 per minute. What is his equation or expression? What does he start with? 30. He already has 30, and what happens at 30? He's going to increase by what per minute? 1 per minute. Okay, so I keep the sign this way. And then Mr. Tong has only 15 quizzes graded, but grades at a rate of about 2 quizzes per minute. So what does he start with? And then what happens? He adds on how many per minute? 2x. What does that x represent? Minutes. Good. Okay, let's look at another one. Okay, example 3. A unicorn is racing a chinchilla. The chinchilla is 100 feet ahead of the unicorn and running at a rate of 5.75 feet per second. The unicorn is running at a rate of 30 feet per second. Write an inequality that shows when the unicorn gets ahead of the chinchilla. What 2 names should I write down?
Unicorn and chinchilla.
Good. Unicorn and chinchilla. Okay, it says the unicorn gets ahead of the chinchilla. So is the unicorn going to be greater than or less than the chinchilla?
Greater than.
Greater than. So we want that alligator mouth to open up and eat the one that's bigger, okay? So if you're wondering which way to turn it, it always eats the one that's bigger. So let's get an expression for the unicorn. It says, actually let's do the chinchilla since it comes first. The chinchilla is 100 feet ahead of the unicorn and running at a rate of 5.75 feet per second. So where is the chinchilla starting?
100.
100. What happens after 100?
It's ascending by 5.75.
We're actually increasing feet, right?
Yeah, I just
Okay. Oh, you said ascending. Sorry. So we're adding what?
5.75.
Good. 5.75 x. And we still want to keep that sign that way. And then it says the unicorn is just running at a rate of 30 feet per second. How do I write that?
30x.
30x. What does that x represent?
Feet per second.
Seconds, right? All right, example 4. The temperature in Austin is 65 degrees Fahrenheit and falling at a rate of 2 degrees Fahrenheit per hour. The temperature in Round Rock is 72 degrees Fahrenheit and falling at a rate of 3 degrees Fahrenheit per hour. Write an inequality that shows when the temperature in Round Rock is colder than in Austin. What 2 things should I write down? Good, Round Rock and Austin. Okay, if I'm colder, if Round Rock is colder, is it going to be greater than Austin or less than Austin? So we want Austin to be greater. So we want that alligator mouth to be greater, so we open up towards the Austin. Round Rock has to be less, because the temperature is less, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is, let's see, so the temperature in Austin is falling at a rate of 2 degrees per hour, and it starts at 65. How do I write that expression? What does Austin start with?
65.
65. What happens after 65? Minus 2x, because it's falling. The temperature is going down. It's not increasing. Okay, then the next one says the temperature in Round Rock is 72 degrees and falling at a rate of 3 degrees Fahrenheit per hour. How do I write that?
72 minus 3x.
What does that x represent? Hours. Okay, next one, example 5. So it says, Carissa's going water skiing. She can purchase skis for $125 or she can rent skis for $30 an hour. In both cases, she must rent a life jacket to wear that is $5 per hour. Which inequality shows the number of hours Carissa must ski for the cost of buying skis to be less than or the same as renting? So we are doing buying skis to be less than or the same as renting skis. What two things should I write down?
Buying skis and renting skis.
Good. Buying skis and renting. And it says we want the cost of buying to be less than or the same. What symbol is that? So which one is bigger? Renting. So I open it up. And if we want it to be the same, we put a line under it. That's a less than or equal to symbol. So let's come up with the buying skis expression. So she can purchase skis for $125. So it's just $125, right? Or she can rent skis for $30 an hour. So over here with the 30, it would be, or for the renting, it would be 30 what? X. Because it's 30 per hour. Here's the tricky part in this one. In both cases, she has to rent a life jacket for $5 per hour. So it would be plus 5x on both sides. Does that make sense? So buying skis, it's going to be $125 plus $5 per hour for the life jacket. For renting skis, it's going to be 30 times x for the skis, plus she has to rent the life jacket. Okay, I don't see this over here. Why is that answer not over here? Because I have to combine 30x and 5x. What does that make? 35x. So I need to look for the answer choice that is 125 plus 5x less than or equal to 35x. What answer choice is that? B. Okay, our last one, we have to figure out what situation matches the inequality. So I have 6x is greater than 50 plus 2.80x. Remember, if something has an x on it, it needs a per each every word. So let's look at part A. Sarah makes hair clips and sells them for $50 each. Does that 50 have an x on it? It says 50 each, so it should have a what on it? X. So could A even be the answer? And notice right here it says her total cost is 6 plus 280 per hour. Is the 6 adding anything? Nope, so it can't be A. You're going to have one pretty similar to this on your test. So you should be able to kind of, by process of elimination. So Sarah makes hair clips and sells them for $6 each. Is that one okay so far?
Yes.
Okay. Her total costs are $50 plus $280 per clip. Is that good?
Yes.
Yep, those two are together. How many clips does she have to sell to make profit? That sounds pretty good so far, right?
Yes.
Let's look at C. Sarah makes hair clips and sells them for $6 each. Is that good? Yeah?
Yes.
Her total cost are $6 plus $280 per clip.
Because the 6 plus.
Yeah, this has to be together. 50 and 280, right? They're on the same side. This has 6 plus 280. That doesn't make sense. So correct answer is B.